feels good to be back in the cockpit again. It's been a long time. Well, since the arrival of the advanced flight model for DCS's Su-27, there's been a lot of talk in the DCS forums about how screwed up it is. Though it has some issues, I don't think it's quite as far off as some people seem to believe. I have to give DCS the benefit of the doubt on this one and assume that they know what they're doing. So, with that being said, I decided to see if I could mimic an air show routine. Since I'm not about to spend hours and hours trying to perfect the routine, I'm going to settle for a reasonable facsimile, and hopefully you will too. I've grown especially fond of the 2013 Radom Air Show routine. You can find it on YouTube with videos taken from several different locations in the crowd. Our flanker continues to be very maneuverable, but there is a reason these air shows are performed with an aircraft stripped of weapons and the added weight of extra fuel. If you expect it to perform in the same manner, at altitude with 100% fuel load and a full complement of weapons, you'll be in for a very rude awakening. So, here we go. Okay, the routine will start off with a double loop immediately after takeoff. Rotate. Gear coming up. Full burner, picking up speed. And now we'll pull up into our first loop. Keep an eye on the angle of attack as you're going up and over. You don't want to push beyond 20 degrees angle of attack. Otherwise, bad things start to happen. Okay, over the top of the first one. Gonna hold off on pulling out. Let's make this exciting. Here we go. Okay, pulling out. Throttle up. Oh, that was a little bit closer than I thought it would be. Coming up for our second loop. Coming over the top. Keep an eye on the angle of attack. I'm not going to be pushing these routines as much as I could. I want to get through this in one take. I have flown this pushing the 20-degree angle of attack just about the whole time. Okay, tight left turn. Coming round, halfway through. Coming through our first circle, and then we'll pull up into a climbing left turn. And pulling up. Coming through the top. And we're through. Again, keep an eye on that angle of attack. Head back down towards the other end of the runway, and we'll do a climbing turn to the right. Pulling up. Nice tight turn. Don't push beyond 20 degrees angle of attack. Okay, and now we'll extend and come back round for an inverted pass. Coming round. And I'm going to stay to this side of the runway. Most of the spectators are on the other side. Gives a better angle. And invert. Not one of my better ones. I'll let the nose drop. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, climbing right hand turn, nice and tight, don't exceed 20-degree angle of attack. coming through. Now in the original 2013 Radom show, the next maneuver was a loop. I misread my notes, so you're going to get another left-hand climbing turn instead. And we're through. And now back down to the other end of the runway for our first tail slide. Put our backs towards them a little bit, they'll get a better view of it that way. Here we go, climbing. I want to get at least 1,500 meters between us and the ground. You want to do this at a pitch angle of no more than 75 degrees, 70 to 75 degrees. And nose is about to fall off. Here we go. Throttle up. And one down. Now let's head on down to the other end of the runway and do it again. Make sure everybody gets a good view. Alright, climb. Do not exceed 75 degree pitch on the climb up. Need to be between 70 and 75 degrees. Slowing down. And our nose is about to fall off. Here we go. Throttle up. And we're flying again. Alright, we'll head back down to the center of the runway and do a full, tight 360 degree turn. Here we go. Always keep an eye on the AOA meter. You don't want your angle of attack exceeding 20 degrees. Coming around. Almost there. And we're through. Okay, now we'll extend and come back for a low speed, high angle of attack pass. We'll be nose high coming through. Air brake out. Need to dump some speed. And drop some altitude too, so we're a little bit lower. Let everybody get a good look. As you do this, you want to slowly be throttling back and gradually pulling up your nose. You don't want to try and do it all at once. Just do it and do it slowly. As our speed slows, we need a higher angle of attack to maintain level flight, and that's what you do. Level flight with a high angle of attack. Actually, our thrust becomes part of our lift component in this, because I've actually been able to do this. We're going to do this and not exceed about 20 degrees angle of attack. I have done it at as slow an airspeed as 150 kilometers per hour. But there your angle of attack is pushing 30 degrees, and that's awfully close to the critical angle of attack. I'm going to try and hold around 200 here. This still gives a nice hot nose high altitude. At about 22, 23 degrees you can do about 170 kilometers per hour. Again, you're maintaining level flight. Watching your throttle, watching your angle of attack. Whatever you do, no jerky motions. Be gentle with the throttle. Ah, that's pretty. Okay. Let's gain speed. And we'll extend again. This time we'll come back with our gear lowered as if we were going to land, but then we'll pull up into a climb and a roll with the gear extended. And then we'll be just about done. Okay, turning in. Oop, overshot the runway by a tad. We'll line up with it. We're not going to actually touch down. Okay, full burner, pull up, roll, gear in, throttle back so that we can get our gear in. Don't want our airspeed too high. We got to about 400 kilometers per hour and then your gear are going to be fighting too much force. Okay, come back for one last pass along the runway. Then we'll pull up into a climbing left turn and give them a victory roll and then land. One last pass. Midway. Okay, throttle up to full burner, climb, and roll. Roll again. Nice and slow. There we go. Alright, let's come around and land. Give ourselves some room here. Now, I wasn't pushing it during this. I have done this entire routine once before, pulling things a lot tighter and keeping that angle of attack pretty much at 20 degrees the entire time. But I played it safe on this one because I want to be able to get through it all in one piece. Alright, finally turning in. Throttle back, and we're down. Shoot. Slow us down. I'd really like to be able to turn in at this first turn in, and then head for the parking area. Alright. No, hang in there with me. I know another complaint that a lot of people, it's something that people are having a hard time with, is taxiing. With the advanced flight model, you need to feather your thrust in order to maintain a steady taxi speed. So you feather up to about 80, you push up to about 80% and immediately feather back. If you push up to say 82, 83%, you will definitely start to pick up speed even if you are feathering back. So if you want to gain speed, push up a little bit beyond it and then immediately feather. Otherwise 80 and then feather back down. That's pretty much it. Up and feather. Throttle up and feather. Maintain a constant speed. Up and feather. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. As you can see, it's very possible to make tight turns to maintain control of the aircraft. This, of course, is done as an air show routine, and we are carrying about 60, we started with about 60% fuel and no weapons on the wings. At about 50 or 60% fuel and about 4 missiles on the wings, you can still maintain really good control and high maneuverability. All that starts to go away as your weight increases beyond that point. And if you put on a full fuel load of 100% and you load up your wings with everything that you can carry, and you find yourself falling out of the sky to try and do this. Thank you. You have control.